unbelievable mystery when I was in undergraduate school, because the Pica House, which was about a lodge, which was about 2 lodges removed from ours, they were known as the hot dogs. And so they were very good athletically, but everyone thought they just carried everything a little bit too far. One morning we woke up and there was a hand-painted sign on the Pica roof that faced the campus in great big 6-foot letters that said "hot dogs." And to this day, as far as I know, this is a cold case. Nobody's ever solved it. I wonder if Pete can shed some light on that when he receives the alumni medallion. I've been inspired to nominate Pete because in undergraduate school, he excelled in athletics. He played football and ran track. He got an honorary award in ROTC. He was also the president of his fraternity, SAE. He then went into the Army. He went to Vietnam for a tour, got the Bronze Star, which is a really, really big deal. Then he came back. He started a small practice where he did civil and criminal litigation. And then he was appointed to the General District Court. He served on General District Court until I think 1984. He then was elevated and appointed to the Circuit Court. First of all, Richmond has a very, very busy docket. He was very, very tied up with complex civil litigation and complex criminal work, including capital murder cases. He was also named the head judge in the Richmond Circuit Court. And the Circuit Court makes all local advanced decisions, and if they appeal, they then go down to the Intermediate Court of Appeals or the Supreme Court. So it's a very, very important court, the highest local court that there is in the state of Virginia. There was a 2007 graduate from Marshall Witt School of Law who's appeared before Pete a lot and wrote a very, very compelling letter to support Pete's nomination. I'd just like to read a couple of things from his letter. Pete was widely appreciated as one of the most knowledgeable, well-reasoned, patient, and just members of Virginia's judiciary. He followed the core tenet of the, quote, citizen lawyer, unquote, that is taught and emphasized at the Marshall Witt School of Law for lawyers to have the fundamental obligation to use their talents for the betterment of their communities. There is no finer example of a citizen lawyer than the Honorable Walter W. Stout III. Throughout his professional career, Judge Stout's dedication to his community was unwavering. He treated individuals from every walk of life with courtesy and respect. His public service came in the face of tremendous pressure and involved the highest imaginable stakes, yet his commitment to his community never wavered. He upheld his oath to maintain unmitigated neutrality for nearly 3 decades. It was an honor to appear before Judge Stout as a litigant, and remains a privilege to be his friend. In my opinion, bestowing the alumni medallion to Judge Stout would appropriately recognize a man who embodies the dedication to public service that the college continues to extol. Pete has excelled in leadership in everything he's done, including all his campus activities, including his Army activities, including his legal activities. And I think his best characteristic are the characteristics of almost all the alumni medallion winners. He has a great career accomplishment and success. He has characteristics that distinguish him from normal people just by virtue of the way he carries himself and what he does. And I think Pete has the qualities that everyone's looking for in a leader and also in a recipient for the alumni medallion. In closing, I just think that Pete is very, very deserving of the alumni medallion. He served his college with great distinction, and I just like to, I'm honored to be his nominator, and I offer my congratulations, and I also offer a big fist pump to Pete Stout, the new alumni medallion award winner.
Pete, on behalf of the William and Mary Alumni Association, I am pleased to present you our highest alumni award, the Alumni Medallion.
a little unnerving sitting there, because none of us have seen the videos. It really is scary, you know. I will state that what Art talked about was a misdemeanor and the statute has long since run. I'd like to start by thanking Art and his brother Pat, who did a lot of work on the nomination. I appreciate that. Some others that were involved: Clyde Culp, Rich Kramer, Howard Busby, who seems to be a kingmaker, Henry George, Chris Tepp. I'd also like to thank the board for their consideration for this award. Carol Brown Quaintance was my uncle. He was also the father of Lucy Ann Quaintance Meyer, affectionately known as Pud. We came to William & Mary in 1960 as freshmen, exactly 40 years after Carol matriculated as a freshman. He never told us, and never told me, I'm not sure what he told Pud, but he never said, go to William & Mary, I want you to go to William & Mary. But long before that decision had to be made, he had laid the groundwork very subtly, and there was no question where I was going when the admissions came through. Carol was an initiator and founder of Lambda Chi fraternity on this campus. He was a 1924 graduate, Phi Beta Kappa in math and chemistry, subsequently became a patent attorney with an international practice. He was president of the Alumni Association and a recipient of this award in 1934, the first year it was given. He is the inspiration and model for my involvement in William & Mary, which changed my life greatly and very positively. I got back to William & Mary in a way that many people in Richmond did. Received a call from Jim Ukrop asking me to volunteer to raise money for athletics, and it happened to hit at a very significant time because the administration was considering de-emphasizing football. And they issued a challenge to the Athletic Educational Foundation to double the money that was raised in the country for athletics in 1973. It seemed a daunting task, but the Richmond area, Jim and Dennis Grant put together a telethon. And in that one night, we raised the same amount of money in Richmond that was raised in the country. The football team had been advised of the de-emphasis, not advised, but the word got out. They had a very poor season. They were told the week before the Richmond game that de-emphasis was off the table because of the amount of money that had been raised. A decided underdog to Richmond that year, they won 54-12. I would suggest that maybe we try that next year. Carol, being the inspiration and model for me, I stayed involved, and it's one of the most positive factors in my life to be associated and working, involved with this institution as it progresses to further greatness is a wonderful thing. But the best thing is the people involved, and working with them, consistently great people. Carol was one of those great people, and I would like to dedicate this award to his memory. One last thing. The amount that we raised that year and was raised in '73 for all athletics was $60,000. It's hard to believe. Now we have a $1 billion campaign going on with the leadership of President Reevely, Sue Gertleman, and Matthew Lambert.